What's going on, Flix Talkers? Welcome to a special podcast, this time with Movie Files. And this is my buddy Elliott. We've done a couple so far, so I'm going to leave a little kind of card up on top to let you guys know of some of the past episodes that we did. But man, it's good to see you back on the channel. Elliott, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Glad to be back talking movies with you, man. I love it.
For sure, for sure. And this one is a controversial one, like you said. I actually just caught your Hunt review, the spoiler-free review earlier today, and it seems like we're kind of on the same page as far as how we enjoyed it.
Man, I was obviously we'll talk about it in a little bit as far as the controversy being pushed back, and you know sometimes those films that and I love that they played into like the film that no one the most talked about film, but I was very pleasantly surprised by how entertained I was by this film.
Definitely. Now, real quick before we get into the actual film, can you tell me a little bit about your experience when you went to the film? Like, was it a packed crowd? Like, what kind of people did you kind of see there?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, as we all know, we're going through a kind of a worldwide crisis right now, and I was a little skeptical about actually going to the show last night. So I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and we've had like very small amount of people that's been affected by it. I think there's been one or two casings out here, but still, man, you still want to be safe. You never know, but. I decided to kind of last minute after work. I was like, you know what? They're not canceling screenings. It's not too crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and check it out because it might be the last new release I've seen in a very long time. So, went to the theater. I set my seat. Like I didn't want to be too crazy, but I did put myself in a position where there's not like a lot of people by me. So I was like sitting in the very last seat in the back of the theater. And it was literally like maybe like 100 people type of setup there. But yeah, man, it was. I was kind of on the fence, but and then the day I was like, you know what? It's not too many crazy casings out here. I'm gonna put myself in a position where I'm not gonna be near a lot of people, and I just want to watch this movie because I'm excited to check it out. And like I said, it might be a while before we see a new release. So
exactly. Yeah. Now, what do you think? What was the general reaction from everyone when everything was going on screen? Because we had talked about like in both of our reviews, this is a satire. So I mean, were people laughing? Did you get like a sense of like weirdness going on?
So I had a pretty decent screening or audience there. There were some people that was very quiet throughout the process. You could hear a couple chuckles every now and then, but there was a family. It was probably, I think, a family of 4, and they were all like adults. And by adults, I mean there was 2 sons, and they brought their mom and their sister, and they had to be at least in their 30s. And their mom, I don't want to put an age on her, but she was probably in her 50s or 60s. They loved the film.
Really?
You would have thought this was like the Avengers Endgame for them. They were laughing at all the jokes. I mean, when all the stuff went down, with some of the characters going out, like Suicide Squad, they were just gobbling all up. So they were kind of my, a peanut gallery in regards to kind of the reaction to some of the stuff that was going down. But other than that, everyone else was pretty, subdued and just pretty quiet in their seats. So, and
that's cool. At my movie showing too, I told you, I'd gone see this at the premiere, the Hollywood premiere on Monday night, and it was a double treat for me because it was my birthday, March 9th, the day Biggie died.
Happy belated,
ironically,
by the way. Happy
Thank
belated.
you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And it was like even a double treat because I got to see some of the actors in the film. And I was even saying that didn't raise my score up. This was just a general fun movie. Like it was just, and same reaction. I was sitting next to all kinds of people that were laughing. Granted, it was probably a lot of the actors' friends, like in the front row, that were just busting up. And what you had said early, on your movie review was that Betty Gilpin, I believe, she was such a standout. And every time she was on screen, she had a horde of people that were screaming, "Woo!" She really impressed me because I hadn't seen her too much personally.
Me neither, man. I mentioned that in my review. I've seen her in like little things. She's been on TV roles. Obviously, she's known for Glow, which I haven't watched yet, but it's been on my watch list for a while. I think I saw her last year on Stuber, which she had a very small role, but she was the Kumail Nanjiani's like friend that he wanted to date or whatever. But this was really my introduction to her, and I am like super big fan. Was she at your screening, by the way?
She actually, all of them were except for Emma Roberts. So including her and Hilary Swank, which I did not take a picture, but we looked up the hashtags later and Hilary Swank was there and I almost shit my pants. I was like, I would have ran back just so I could see her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a huge fan. But like, yeah, this was such and I have Stuber as well. And her character in that movie to this movie is like night and day. It's crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And she did an amazing job, and it makes me just want to go check out Glow, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was, I think, something that I accidentally clicked on just to check out. And the first episode was fun. So I think you'll definitely appreciate that once you get into it, and maybe if I can get back into it, you know. But yeah, so I definitely had fun with this film. And I think just off the bat, one thing that I was talking about was not seeing enough of the characters that they threw in the trailer, which I knew was going to happen. They were going to kill off. But why did they have to kill off Emma Roberts right away?
Like literally, it was like within 5 seconds. And I was like...
She was the first one.
Yeah, I was excited to see Emma Roberts because I've been a fan of hers for a while, back from American Horror Story and seeing her in other movies. And I'm like, you know, this would be kind of cool to see her in this role and maybe play against Betty and interact with some of the other characters. But like you said, it was literally, like I said, it reminded me of, I didn't do a spoiler review, but I wanted to say it reminded me of Suicide Squad because of how the characters were dying so quickly in the film. So
right.
Very surprised by that.
So that was definitely, and it was funny because they also had Jason Blum at the premiere as well, and he even said, he goes, "Hey, just a heads up, you know, there's some splattering that happens from a couple of our main characters that happen within the first couple of minutes, guys." So I'm like, "Oh, great!" You know, they're gonna start with a wild ride, and that's kind of what they did in this one. And I was so appreciative when I saw that, because they had fun, and it's like explaining this to a friend, you're like, oh man, so many people died and got massacred, and your friend's probably thinking like, how is that fun? But you have once you visually see it in a satirical way, like Jojo Rabbit, for example. I mean, that's very touchy subject material, but they had fun with it. At least in the first part of the movie, they had a lot of fun with that.
Right.
And then the same thing goes for this one, and then you kind of get our main characters along the way as far as those surviving. And I got to say, like that Ike Barinholtz scene where him and the two other characters are in the convenience store was very tension based. It was so tension based, because you kind of didn't know what to expect, you know, who's in on it, who's not. After a while, I was like, the old people are in on it. Everyone's kind of in on it. But I thought it was like a beautifully mastered and kind of laid out how they did everything, because it did seem real life, like a real life scenario. Like there is some elite people that want to do this.
Yeah. And like you said, I think from the first 15, 20 minutes is, and I had mentioned in my review, it's hard to say what's horror. You know, obviously it's subjective. Obviously the scenario that they were in is horrific to imagine someone being in that. But I really, like you just mentioned, the thriller and the suspenseful aspect was all there on top of the satire and the comedy. It was really it was one of my favorite movie going experiences so far in 2020, next to like Invisible Man, and, you know, enjoy Birds of Prey for what it was. But I really had a good time with this movie. Oh
yeah, definitely. We just saw Invisible Man as well too, and that was great. I actually, it pleasantly surprised me. I thought, based on the trailers, I was like, and they kept pumping the trailers out. Universal was going insane with these trailers, so I just got sick of it after a while. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, this is a good movie. Yeah, you know, and I can't wait. Was that a Blumhouse as well?
I was gonna say Blumhouse.
I believe so.
They have there for a minute there, because I wasn't a big fan of like Happy Death Day 2, and it was a couple other movies last year. I'm just like, come on, Blumhouse. How about Fantasy Island earlier this year? Oh, I almost threw up my mouth when you said that. I totally forgot about that movie. That movie was trash. Trash, right? Like, literally trash. And Jeff Woblow, whatever his name is, he is like, I normally don't like to call out directors and writers, but he's like on my shit list as far as like people I want to stay away from. If I see their name attached to anything, like that movie wasn't for me. So that was a movie that I actually saw, and it was so bad I didn't even review it. That's how bad. And because I knew I was just going to tear it apart. I thought the only character that I thought did a decent job was maybe Maggie Q. But I was just like, but she's established. Like, as far as, you know, every other character was just so cookie cutter. And I don't want to get off on a Fantasy Island Blumhouse tangent. They got their hits, they got their misses, but this one they definitely got a hit. I think. Unfortunately, it's hitting during like the worst week of coronavirus, and I got to be careful saying that word because I'll get demonetized. But you know, we're getting hit really hard. And then, of course, like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, off camera, is at the Regal theaters, as well as AMC, and I think there's another one up in Canada, Cineplex or something like that.
they're all doing, well, I just read the article that they're all, cutting their capacity by 50% just to make sure that everybody's kind of spaced apart, which to me doesn't make sense. If people are coughing, it's going to be airborne.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. I don't know, but this is going to be a major blow to the studios. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It was I don't know if you were ever a fan of Collider, like Movie Talk back in the day when they had Schnepp and Campy and all them. I remember they had a story about, it was talked about that movie theaters and streaming services were thinking about doing this whole deal where certain movies you will be able to pay $50 for to watch opening weekend in the comfort of your own home, but obviously none of that is kind of played out. So that it would have been interesting if that was something that we had available, because I think this film, what's going to end up happening to this film, in my opinion, is going to become like a cult classic in regards to people didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately, to see it at the theater. But once VOD and Blu-ray and streaming services hits there, I think people are going to catch it. But it is unfortunate that it's going to probably take a big hit in the box office for opening weekend and for the foreseeable future. Yeah,
as well as Bloodshot. And that could have been a I had mixed review. I didn't see your review on it yet, but I did have mixed reviews on that one. As it was one of those you kind of have fun with it, a little tongue in cheek type of deal. Yeah. But and I totally agree with what you said about what Collider had mentioned about bringing those hits that are just about to hit theaters to your home for maybe a premium price or not. That might be the next level. Especially with all the competitors, Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, all these, people on board, even the smaller ones, Peacock and blah, 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 all this other stuff. That might be the next level. Because I don't see them recouping too much money if they're, you see how many delays we're getting because of China pulling out and all these other countries. To me, the virus was a cheap way of saying we're going to pull out because of that, but we're actually pulling out because we ain't making no money.
Yeah, it's what it comes down to. It's a business. And we all, me, you, and all the movie fans know that. Some people are taking it a little bit personal. Like, they don't care. Like, it's a business, guys. Like, if you were the CEO of these big corporations, you would do the same thing. Same with the sporting events, NBA and NHL. Yeah. Yes, they, PR-wise, they're making it seem they care about the audience and their employers, which I'm sure some of them do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they have a company to run. So it's a smart business decision to put these things on the back burner for now.
Yeah, and in honor of those delays, I'm actually wearing my I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, my Quiet Place T-shirt because they did get pushed back, and I'm a bit salty about that one, if I'm being honest. The rest of them I can kind of wait for. Yeah, Fast 9 wasn't 100% exciting to me, but
this is gonna have to be a topic for another day, man. But like, what's gonna happen with, like, I wonder, once this virus is contained to a certain extent, how are they going to release these films, like, in regards to, okay, The Quiet Place comes out in the fall, but you got Marvel, you got James Bond coming out, you got, all these big, I'm just so curious about how they're going to reposition these movies. We already saw Fast 9 got pushed back an entire year, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah. Why though?
I guess their audience is international, so they know that China is really the one that's, being really affected by this. So they probably really just won't even take a chance to just wait until everything is like a year in advance if they want to just cover themselves. But it's just, like I said, maybe a topic for another day, but I'm just so fascinated to see how they're going to slowly place these films back into their, their slots in regards to when they're going to come out once this thing kind of clears up.
Yeah. And I hate to go off on a tangent, but it's who determines how far back these movies go? Because if Fast 9 is going back 1 year, do they know something that others don't? Do we expect this to go on a little longer than, I've seen a lot of podcasts about doctors saying this is just the tip of the iceberg. It could go on for 6 months plus. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, these movies are not going to have the expected delay date. It's going to be delayed even further. Yeah. Look at the poor New Mutants movie. Good God. That's gone back a few times, right?
New Mutants reminds me of like when you're a kid and you're driving to you're on vacation with your parents and you're just saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Like New Mutants just sitting there, just like, can we show the audience what we made almost 60 years ago?
I know. I feel so bad for that cast, but anyways, back to The Hunt. I had extreme fun with this movie. Real quick, so what was your favorite kill? Because there's so much that happened in like the first 10, 15 minutes of that movie. Yeah. And like you said, there wasn't enough time to develop characters, but I guess that aside, first off, who did you enjoy, seeing getting offed?
Man, it happened so quickly, and I was just still like, whoa, like I did not expect, like you said, Emma Roberts going out, that was probably, I would say that's probably the one that caught me off guard the most, and probably, I don't want to say favorite, but that was like the most like jaw-dropping moment for me, because I'm just like, she's the star of this movie. Obviously, I saw that Betty was the headline, but I'm like, it's Emma Roberts. She's going to be probably one of the last girls or the last victims of the movie, but no, she got shot right in the face, and that like really caught me off guard.
Yeah, definitely. I got to say, and it's an actress that I didn't even know. She was kind of a side actress. She was the one that fell on the spikes.
And yeah, she like fell, and then she fell.
She got
again,
pulled out.
Yeah,
and then he exploded, and she got on there again.
I mean, honestly, she would have died after getting picked up from the spikes. But I mean, yeah, that was pretty brutal.
And I love the whole comment about just shoot me, you snowflake. I love that. I absolutely love that. We were laughing in the audience, and once again, it's California, LA alone is a huge liberal, like a left wing Democratic area. So, snowflake is a term, mainly towards this younger generation of the liberals. So to hear everybody laughing at that, to, like, oh, okay, I get it. We're sensitive, type of deal. Was great to me, and like you were talking about in your review, I don't have a political real view at all whatsoever. I don't lean to one side. So I think I think that's good, because you kind of keep that open-mindedness about everything.
Yep.
And this movie, even though they did talk about a lot of different things, and I try to find out where Betty's character, which was her name Crystal, I believe,
Crystal,
Crystal,
Crystal
kind of
or something, or
jumping towards the end of this movie when she kind of goes into Hilary Swank, which was is it Helena or Helena or
Elena? Yep,
Elena. Her house, on the wall, all the pictures, and then we got to see, Ike, Barinholtz, his character was a pretty evil dude, and then you get a lot of people, and they kind of start setting the placements of, okay, now I know what they're going for. But Betty's character, I was trying to figure out, was it true? Did she get mistaken for somebody else, or what was going on with her backstory? I guess it is.
I think, and that bodes well to the writers, but in particularly Damon Lindelof, who, if you're familiar with, Lost, Leftovers, Watchmen, most recently, he always likes to put those things in his scripts where it's just like open to interpretation. Like, was she the one that wrote that online? Was she not? We'll never know. As well as, I guess, we'll never know if Don was a part of the whole ruse, or if I think that Hilary Swank kind of put them against each other. I think he wasn't part of their group, but I think that's what I love about Damon's script. He always leaves that kind of that question as far as like, was she a part of it, or was she the one that, or was she mistaken? So I love that aspect there. Yeah,
no, the writing was very clever. Once again, going back to that whole scene with Dawn, where they were, Hilary Swank was trying to kind of persuade Crystal's character to kind of turn on Dawn, because she didn't. They end up working together towards the middle of the movie, and they had a pretty fun interaction. I mean, he seemed like he might have been a guy from Texas and somewhere around that area, and she was from Mississippi or somewhere in the South, I think it was. Yeah, so they had a good interaction and banter going on, kind of back and forth. And that was fun to really see. But then again, towards that end, you kind of didn't know where he lied, with her. I mean, as far as, that whole scene goes, I chose to believe that he was kind of on her side as well. Yeah. And, but then again, he ended up raising up his gun at her. So was he just defending himself, or was he actually in on it? I don't know.
I mean, not to, put ageism or how the way he carried himself, but I mean, it was very hard to believe that he was able to survive to that extent of the movie compared to some of our other characters. So it does kind of make you wonder, like, he just conveniently came across the Russians and he was, he was captured by them. So it does make you think that maybe he was a part of it. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. Now, was there any other dislikes besides what you had talked about in the non-spoiler review that maybe you can talk on this review?
I would say, and we talked about kind of the character developments, but probably the biggest thing was I would have liked to had. I mean, unfortunately, those characters, Emma Roberts and Ike Barinholtz and some of the other characters, I would have liked to have seen them interact with each other more, and particularly with Betty, and kind of to come to think of Betty in particular. I was such a huge fan of her character. it seemed like, and I can't wait to rewatch it, but it seems like whenever we left her and whenever she wasn't on the screen, some of the energy kind of went down because I was just so fascinated with her character. Again, I mentioned in my review as in regards to kind of the accent, kind of the Forrest Gumps meets Switchblade meets Charlize Theron and Monster. Like I just loved the character choices she had, and whenever we weren't on the screen with her, I feel like the momentum and everything kind of went down just a tad bit. So I wish again that we would have been able to see more of the crew together and more kind of banter amongst the cast. But other than that, man, I was very, very entertained.
She definitely did have a Switchblade tendency where when the screen was on her face, she had her eyes rolling around and her kind of she had some definite expressions going on that she tapped into a whole different character with this.
She, whatever the direction was for her, she probably took it and put her own spin to it. And that's why, again, I can't wait to see her in something else and just see what other, she's a chameleon at this point. Again, with small role in Stewart, but like you had mentioned, a completely different character from that to this. And, from a little bit I know from Glow, even she's different from there. So I think she's just a fantastic actress and I'm a big fan of hers now.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought it was pretty cool seeing Ethan Suplee's character, who kind of played that guy that was, he was the podcaster. He had the gun he was running with her alongside. And I just got very reminiscent vibes of like an Alex Jones type of character.
Exactly.
That's very outlandish. I mean, obviously, this group kind of had some similar, well, maybe just him in general, where he kind of knew about the truth. But it seemed like each one of them knew a little bit about what was going on with Hillary. Yeah, about Hillary Swank's character. I believe they showed a clip of him talking about the text message that was released, or maybe she had. I had forgotten, but that was the whole thing that got brought to light. Maybe somehow that got hacked online, and it was kind of under the radar a bit. But it got picked up from Hillary's, bosses or whatnot when she was kind of getting chewed out about everything. But it seemed like to me like a purge reversal where you get kind of these characters, because in another movie you might see the top elites on the right side doing this to the other side, right? But in this movie you see the complete flip where the elites are like, we're not going to be pushovers. You guys think we're pussies, or you guys think we're soft? This is what we're going to do. I mean, you saw if they had a trainer show them how to fight and show them how to shoot. So, he was like, Hillary Swank's been up there for 8 months and she's ready to fight. She's been training for 8 months. She's ready to fight. So,
I mean, we all know she's been training longer than that with Clint Eastwood and I was a baby. What was the movie? The boxing movie?
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby. Yeah. So we know she had her in her. She had the inner fighter inside of her the whole time. So
yeah. But by the way, I thought she looked great in this movie for her age. I don't know her. Is she late 40s maybe?
I have it pulled up right now, 45. But like you said, man, 45. She looks great, and I could only imagine how she looks in person.
Right, yeah, and she looked like she could move, very fluid, especially when we got that last final scene. When the girls do fight, the final girl, and I thought it was cool because at first I thought it might have been a quick scene, maybe like 30 seconds, someone gets stabbed whatnot, but we went on for a good 5-7 minutes of fighting.
It was a great action sequence, man. Like I remember being back in the day, growing up watching I don't watch MTV at all anymore, but like that would have been like probably the winner for best fight. They have all those cheesy awards, and that would have been the best fight award, because that was really, really good. It reminded me a little bit of like kind of a Quentin Tarantino-esque type of Kill Bill, the bride fighting, the Mamba, or fighting I can't think of the character's name, but it just reminded me it reminded me her.
Oh, Actually, I think Black Mamba was Uma, and then Vivica got pissed off. She's like, I should have been Black Mamba.
It kind of reminded me of that scene a little bit, right? Where it's just intense. You see these two badass females just going at it, and it wasn't like you said a 30-second clip. It was literally a 5 to 7 minute fight, hand-to-hand combat with some sprinkle of comedy in there too. So it was just really, really entertaining. Yeah,
they were breaking through windows. They were flying through the fireplace, and they were just going at it. I did like this. I did love the scenery of this. I from what I remember, it was in a different country. Do you remember? Was it?
It was Croatia, I think.
Croatia.
Yeah, I think they were in Croatia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see, and I hope it doesn't go this way, but I could definitely kind of get vibes of the Belko Experiment. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where it kind of leads off to maybe more eyes are watching this and want to continue this game. it could do that, but I mean, I wouldn't want it to do that, of course.
Yeah.
Especially how it ended. You know, it was where she kind of just leaves on the plane and then she just takes off, or leaves on the helicopter and then just sips her champagne and that's it.
Expensive champagne. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the production value again. I think even with this hard weekend, they should be able to get at least maybe 9 to 10 million this weekend. But the budget, as we all know with Blumhouse, they make really small budget movies and they triple it, within a couple weeks. So it was only $14 million for a budget. Okay. So, maybe, again, based on this first weekend box office and once it comes out on Blu-ray, that who knows, what the future holds for this movie. But I would be satisfied if it was just a one-off. I'm fine with that.
Now, I know you're a numbers guy. You've always been a numbers guy as far as I've known you, as in the internet sphere or whatever. Like, you predict box office openings. Now, taking into account what's going on in the world right now, where do you see this opening at?
So I actually, on Instagram, I posted, I had it falling at the number 4 spot with almost close to 12 million. I had it like 11.9 just to be on the safe side. So I think it's going to, it's close to 12 million opening weekend. If, again, states like that aren't too affected by the virus, hearing about the controversy, want to check out this new satire that I think, it could make 12 million, which isn't the budget, but, I think that close to 12 million, they should be able to pull in, hopefully.
Okay,
it deserves it.
Very, very cool. Well, I mean, I had fun with this movie, like I said. Did you have any other gripes or anything else we want to talk about with this?
No, other than man, it was really entertaining. I thought that, and I mentioned it in my review too, in regards to it's those movies that come. Unfortunately, it's coming out during this time, but it couldn't have been a perfect time for this film to come out because, as we all know, as a society, you mentioned Hilary Swank's character. With the whole text exchange and how she was immediately fired and she thought it was a joke. That just reminded me of the James Gunn incident, everything that he went through and how Disney just immediately cut him off. Didn't care if it was a joke, didn't care where he was in his life. They just fired him. And that kind of plays into, the movie. Obviously Hilary Swank says she was joking when she had mentioned that comment, but we see the result in that. She was immediately cut. All her other peers around her were cut. And that kind of plays into what we're going into now. And then obviously, as we're going through this, this big tragic virus that's spreading, everyone's reading everything online, and they're believing the first thing they read. They're taking it out, and they're just, as we know, people buying toilet paper and all the stuff that's going around. It just kind of shows you. Again, another thing that I thought that the movie had a pulse on is just kind of where we're at as a society as far as the online trolls and the online columns and Reddit. They mentioned Reddit a couple times in the movie. So I think it's just a perfect film to come out during this, social media zeitgeist that we're in regards to where we're at as a society.
Yeah, the movie was very self-aware. It knew what it was. It was definitely having fun. I think people will respect it for what it is, and those that can't watch it just should not watch movies at all. It's not for them. I guess it's just not for that audience. But I think people are going to have fun with this. I hope it does get I see, as we see as movies, well, at least I'm noticing this. If a movie does not do financially too well, they'll try to push it out as fast as they can on digital. Or, I mean, dude, I think they already pushed out Sonic for some reason on digital really quick. Like, they already have a digital copy out there for some reason. And I was like, wow. This is still in theaters. What's happening? And it's not a screener copy or anything. So
and Sonic did pretty well at the box office too, like really well actually.
Yeah, it did, and that was surprising because that was a movie that I was like, it looks cool, but it doesn't look for me. It doesn't look like my age demographic. But I mean, we see it's going to have sequels and all that stuff, and it's doing well. But yeah, I mean, the world's going to change as far as movies go from I think here on out and. What more ironic day for a lot of movies to get delayed than March 13th, Friday the 13th. If you guys are watching this on Friday the 13th, a lot of stuff has been happening this whole week. We know it. And before I let you go, man, I want to just tell everybody to check out your channel. You do a lot of TV reviews, especially as of lately. You've done a lot of TV streaming, Apple TV, Hulu. You've done a lot of things. And I respect your grind so much. I remember last time I talked, I was like, pump out that content, and you proved me right. Like, I knew you were definitely gonna pump out as much as you can, doing episode by episode. You do is it spoilers or non-spoilers for the TV stuff?
It depends on the show. Like today I did Apple TV Plus has their new reimagining of the the amazing story. So I don't spoil those because, again, I know a lot of people aren't really watching Apple TV Plus content. So I just try to keep it very vague in my reviews. But like the show I watched on HBO on The Outsider, that was like deep dive conversations, breaking down all the stuff that went down. Did that with The Watchmen as well. So it just really depends on the show. And of course, if the audience is there and they want to discuss it after the fact that we see these episodes, then that's when I dive deeper into the the show at hand. So.
Well, that's awesome, man. You guys are getting a community of people talking that are watching these shows with you. I saw recently you just did a like a watch with me or
man, my first ever YouTube live, man. Yeah, I did my first live. It was about 2 hours. I did a watch along. So I saw the finale on Sunday, and then like Wednesday, I gave enough time to see the finale and just watched it together. And I had about 200 people in the chat when we were watching, and it was just such a fun. Yeah, such a fun time interacting with people and making theories and just interacting with it. It was really fun, and I plan on doing more of those in the future. But yeah, man, it's a fun community out there, and I couldn't be more humble and appreciative of everyone.
That's awesome, man. You've come a long way. That's all I got to say. I mean, I think last time I was talking to you, you had, I think it was less than 1,000 followers, right? So subscribers on YouTube, and now you're creeping up on 2,500. Is that what it is?
Yeah, man, we're getting there. We're knocking on the door, man. Again, it's been an awesome experience just to meet new people, but at the same time, knowing that people are supporting my content, it means a lot because as we all know, as creators, there's a lot of us out there, right? And there's so much stuff to get our attention, and it's just cool to know that people tune in to hear what your opinion is for movies and shows. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and as we both know, I mean, we both follow people that are always posting up their reviews and text or whatnot. I just tell people, if you have a camera, you got a voice, just let it out. Do not be afraid of the camera. Just do it, and you will surprise yourself. And I think just experimenting with things, believing in yourself, and building that audience, that's what it's going to take. And we all share a love for movies and TV and just media, entertainment, and we're having fun with this, man. I see you to the moon, man. You're headed,
man. Same for you, man. Same for you. I always love watching your content and the energy you bring and the insights. So same to you, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm going to leave all of Elliott's information down below, guys. His Twitter, his Instagram, the YouTube. Are you on Stardust still?
Yeah, Stardust.
Ooh, you're holding strong on that Stardust.
Yeah, I try to, wherever there's an outlet to hear, to talk about things, I always try to be on there. So Stardust, Ladderbox, I believe is the app. Of course, Facebook. So yeah, man, wherever there's movies to be discussed, I'm on that platform.
There you go, man. Well, what's next for you as far as, let's say, what's the next for you as movie goes?
So I just watched a movie. So, I mean, right now, the way it's looking like it's going to be a lot of streaming. So I just watched a Netflix film, Lost Girls. It was a drama mystery based on true events that I just reviewed, actually. We'll be dropping that on Saturday. So there's that. But as far as movies go, again, with everything dropping, next week was supposed to be, as we talked about earlier, A Quiet Place 2. That's off the docket now. So yeah. I don't know. I guess it's whatever's on Netflix or Hulu. I think Pete Davidson has a Hulu movie coming out next week that I might check out. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Apple TV has their The Banker movie with Sam Jackson and Anthony Mackie. So that's probably streaming. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. Be streaming whatever drops on these streaming services.
Now, do you ever see yourself? I know you do a lot of reviews and reactions. Oh, he does trailer reactions, by the way. And you hit them right when they drop too. I say, damn you, Elliott, I can't even watch this. You review it so quick.
I've been holding back a little bit just because I've actually kind of missed. Like I didn't do the Black Widow trailer recently. Or
the newer one, yeah.
I missed that. So, but normally I'll try to catch them as soon as possible. But yeah.
Okay. Do you ever consider talking movie news, like doing like a weekly movie news type of deal?
That was something in the works, man. I wanted to test out my first live, which I did last week, and see how that audience was, and if people were, willing to stay on, and they were. And I, as you know, on Instagram, I try to talk about movie news. I talk about, the latest poster or whatever's going on, or my Insta stories. Like, what do you guys think about this? But I'm thinking about doing something like that. I don't want to be, because a lot of YouTubers that are out there that do that, they kind of format it like a movie talk type of discussion, back on Slider Movie Talk, where it's just talking about the topic, this, that, and the other. So I want to, something in the works. Definitely something I'm thinking about doing eventually.
Yeah, I could definitely see you doing that. I mean, I know it's a lot of content, especially since you're watching so many shows. I don't know how you do it still. I still don't know how you do it. But I'm like, there's not enough hours in the day, and this guy's dropping movies like videos every couple of days at least. And but yeah, I can definitely see you trying to fit that into a schedule if you can, because I think you're good at talking this and getting very descriptive and holding a lot of knowledge, retaining a lot of knowledge, and you always get it like in one take. I envy you for that. I mean, you see how many jump cuts I got? I can't even speak when it's like scripted like that almost.
Man, one of these days, if I have the courage enough, I might do a bloopers reel, because those I do like a one take. So like when I find the rhythm, I just go with that video. But it takes like 5 or 6 takes to kind of get the rhythm out and stumbling over words and messing up people's names or just whatever, but I always try to, whenever I find a rhythm, I always try to do, I'm a big, rap fan. So I always try to do like Jay-Z or Lil Wayne and just, try to do it off top and try not to write things down so I can kind of stay focused on my thoughts in my head. So, but yeah.
Right. I definitely hear that. I forget names constantly and I kick myself in the ass, but yeah. All right. So I think we'll leave it at that, man, if you're cool. And yeah, we'll just wait till the next one. I don't know what it's going to be, but I would love to have you on. I know I say that like every 6 months, but I would love to have you on sooner than later. Man. How about that? We'll leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. And if you guys did appreciate our talk, spoiler review talk on The Hunt, it is out as of now, March 13th, 2020. Let us know in the comments below. Have you guys checked it out? Are you going to face that virus and hit it straight head on, hit your theaters? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys did appreciate our review, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification. And I'm going to leave Elliott Movie Files, all his information down below, guys. All right. Till next time, we're gone.